Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 live-action superhero fight scenes. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Alright, starting off the list at number 10, we have Captain America vs. Iron Man in Civil War. This fight is just awesome, and it's one of those fights that feels like it has multiple phases, so it's kind of like a video game boss fight. You start off with Cap and Bucky versus Iron Man, and then Iron Man's able to get rid of Bucky, so then it's just a 1v1. Now, there's one thing that doesn't really make sense to me with this fight. There's like 20 or 30 seconds where Captain America is just sitting out, and it's the part where Bucky's trying to rip the arc reactor out of Iron Man's armor. And, you know, if Captain America was helping Bucky with that, they probably would have succeeded, but because Bucky was doing it by himself and Cap was sitting out for like half a minute, Iron Man was able to blast off Bucky's arm. So, you know, it's kind of, I don't really understand it, but, you know, other than that, the fight is awesome. However, I think the context behind the fight was just so ridiculous, so dumb. Obviously, Captain America was in the right. Yeah, I know Bucky killed Iron Man's parents and Cap probably should have told him, but Bucky was being mind controlled. It wasn't his fault. So while Iron Man does have a right to be upset, he doesn't have a right to try and murder Bucky. And like Iron Man siding with the government, no, Iron Man was wrong. Team Cap all the way. But, you know, ignoring that, the fight scene was just epic. I love the part where Iron Man's armor starts analyzing Cap's fight pattern, and then they just go ham on each other.
Analyze his fight pattern.
Scanning.
So cool. And they recreate the iconic shot from the Civil War comic book. Such a good time. Alright, next up at number 9, we have Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin. Now, I am not talking about the fight from Spider-Man 1, I am talking about the fight from No Way Home. It was just so good to see Willem Dafoe back as the Green Goblin, and honestly, I think he's more menacing in this one than he was in the first movie.
That's some neat trick. That sense of yours.
And this fight is just so brutal. Goblin is not holding back at all. Peter is getting thrown through walls, windows. He gets slammed through multiple floors of this apartment complex. It's just awesome. And the best part has to be when Peter jumps up onto Norman and he starts pounding his face in. And Norman's just laughing and smiling the whole time. Like, he is not fazed at all. So menacing, so good. And I love how the fight ends with Goblin killing Peter's aunt. Like, this Green Goblin does not know this version of Peter at all. He has no connection, no attachment to this version, but he's still like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your aunt. Such a generational hater. So good.
Too weak to send me home to die.
No. I just want to kill you myself.
Attaboy.
And yeah, I do like the fight at the very end where Peter almost kills the Green Goblin, but I think the fight in the apartment complex is just a little better. And I don't even mind that it's not one of those, you know, typical Spider-Man fight scenes where he's swinging around everywhere. It's just a straight brawl, and it's so good. Okay, next up at number 8, we have the Hulkbuster fight from Age of Ultron. Now, I am fully aware that this fight was just put in the movie for fan service, but I don't care. It's awesome. This fight scene reminds me of just mashing your action figures together as a kid. It is just so action-packed and so fun. And I love how balanced the fight is. You know, it's not really tipped to either one side, you know, in someone's favor. Like, the Hulk is getting visibly more fatigued throughout the fight. The Hulkbuster has to, you know, constantly repair itself mid-battle. It's just so cool. Everyone's flying through buildings. Things are exploding. The ground is cracking beneath them. It's just so fun. And, you know, with the way the Hulk has been treated recently in all these movies and shows, it just makes me appreciate this fight scene even more. I miss Savage Hulk. I don't know why we haven't been getting Savage Hulk, but hopefully we get to see him again in Spider-Man Brand New Day. We'll see.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Alright, next up at number 7, we have Cap versus Thanos in Endgame. Now, I have never seen a crazier theater reaction than I did when I saw this movie. Insane. You know, Cap wielding Mjolnir and using it to kick the crap out of Thanos. Are you kidding me? Of course the theater was freaking out. And I don't know, I just thought they were so creative with the moves that Cap was pulling off against Thanos. You know, he was throwing the shield would come back, he would, you know, hit the shield with the hammer. He was playing ping pong with himself against Thanos. Just so fun. And I love how there were essentially two different outbursts of applause from the audience. Like the first one is when Cap picked up the hammer. The second one is when he called down the lightning and struck down Thanos with it. So epic. Now, this scene isn't very long, it's like 20 or 30 seconds, but what follows is one of the most epic scenes in the MCU. Captain America, by himself, facing off against Thanos and his entire army. Cap was ready to die here. It was so awesome. Peak MCU, huge fall off after Endgame. Okay, so I can't believe I'm about to say this, but at number 6, we have a scene from The Flash. An absolutely garbage movie, but Michael Keaton's Batman was actually pretty cool here. This scene is ripped straight from the Arkham series. It's just an Arkham Knight combat section. All right, he's gliding in, he's using the reverse, batarang, he's got the quick fire bat claw combo, going on here. He's, a lot of the counterattacks actually look very similar. I don't know, this scene is just so cool. I am surprised by how mobile they made Michael Keaton in this scene. He is just zipping around everywhere. He is so quick. And I love how he uses his cape as a shield against the bullets. That's something we don't really get to see very often, but it was pretty fun. A really good scene in a really terrible movie. All right, cracking the top 5, we have Spider-Man versus Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know that I am a huge fan of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He is just so entertaining. Like, I know he doesn't have the best movies, but he embodies the character in a way that I don't think a lot of people do. Now, honestly, this scene is more of a chase scene than a fight scene, but I don't care. It's so good, it deserves to be on the list. It has some truly amazing visuals, and it showcases the best swinging we have ever seen in a Spider-Man movie. The way Andrew Garfield moves as Spider-Man is just so satisfying, and Electro's theme in this scene is pretty cool too. Alright, coming up next at number 4, we have the Quicksilver kitchen scene from X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, this is the blueprint for how speedsters should operate in live action. This scene is just so good. It follows a pretty simple concept that we've seen before. Everything slows down, the speedster is moving around in slow motion, moving things in the environment, moving people around, and then when everything speeds up, everyone's down for the count. We've seen it many times, but this scene executes that concept perfectly. And there is just so much detail here, I love how you can see the water particles everywhere. All of the kitchen utensils are floating around almost like they're in zero gravity, like on a space station. I like how you can see the ripples on Quicksilver's face to show truly how fast he is moving. It's just so cool. And a scene like this definitely could have overstayed its welcome. It is the perfect length. As much as I do like the scene in X-Men Apocalypse where he saves everyone in the X-Mansion, I feel like that one drags on a little too long. And you would think that a character like The Flash would leave Quicksilver in the dust when it comes to scenes like this, but no. This scene has yet to be topped. I have not seen any scene from any piece of Flash media that is better than this. Okay, next up at number 3, we have the Spider-Man 2 train scene. Obviously, it's on this list. How could it not be? And this scene looks so good, especially for 2004. This aged very well. And this is another one of those, fight scenes that has multiple phases. Like this one starts on top of the side of a building and, you have this, establishing shot where you see Spider-Man through the reflection of Doc Ock's glasses. And it is just such a cool shot. But yeah, the fight starts on the side of the building. You have a pretty cool little action scene there, and then it moves on to the train. And I mean, Spider-Man is just moving differently here. This definitely rivals the way Andrew moves as Spider-Man. Like he is just so acrobatic and flexible. Like, I don't know how they were able to pull this off in 2004. It is just crazy to me. Now, the thing that elevates this scene is the setting. Like, most superhero fight scenes would happen, in a building, on the street, on a rooftop. But this one happens on a train. And I mean, it is just so cool when characters don't just have to fight each other, but they're also fighting the environment. Think like Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting, with all the lava stuff happening around them. So cool. For Spider-Man here, there's an external sense of danger that's outside of Doc Ock. Like he's having to dodge overpasses, he's having to catch civilians, He has to make sure that he's staying on the train. It's just perfect. It really just adds to the thrill, and it makes the stakes a lot higher. All right, next up at number 2, we have a scene from Daredevil. It is the stairwell fight. This fight is just so creative. He's got a gun duct taped to his hand, so he's kind of restricted in that way, but he also has a chain attached to the other one, so he's using it to like grab people and whip them around. It's so creative. This is one of the most well choreographed street level fight scenes that I have ever seen. And it's one of those continuous scenes where there's no cuts and the camera follows the characters the whole way. This fight may not be the flashiest, it doesn't have the flair of a lot of other superhero fights. It's pretty grounded and realistic, but I just love how gritty and raw it is. And also, Daredevil is fighting like 30 dudes here. I didn't really keep count, but there's a lot. And I just love how the fight moves from the hallway to the stairwell, and he's having to fight all the way down the stairs. He's using the chain to whip people around, pull them off the railing and they go falling down the stairwell. It's just so brutal and satisfying to watch. And I love how Matt is just getting more and more tired throughout the fight. And when he gets to the bottom of the stairwell, he can barely stand up and he almost loses. Like, this huge guy comes in the next room and he almost beats him. But obviously, this is Daredevil we're talking about, so he wins. But this fight was just so creative, and I don't know, I prefer Daredevil to move like this. As much as I would love to see Daredevil moving like he does in the comics with all the Spider-Man type acrobatics and flips and stuff, I think this works way better. But yeah, I might be super biased because I love Daredevil, but I had to put one of his fight scenes on this list. This one's just the best. All right, coming in first place, to no one's surprise, we have the Batman v Superman warehouse scene. Now, love him or hate him, you have to admit that Zack Snyder created a badass fight scene here. This is just so cool. And now, I don't like the killing. Obviously, Batman shouldn't kill. But if you just watch this as its own thing and kind of ignore that, it's so peak. This is the closest that we have gotten to how Batman moves in the comics. And this scene really showcases how good of a martial artist he is and how strong he is. He is throwing people around left and right. It is crazy. I mean, I just love how many gadgets he uses in this fight too. He's got explosives, he's got this disruptor thing that disables all the firearms, he's got his Batclaw, batarangs. I just love to see Batman being this versatile in live action. I think the funniest part of this scene is when Batman comes up through the floor and that one guy starts shooting at the hole in the ground like Batman's still in there. It's so funny. Anyway, this is just a very well choreographed fight scene. It's pretty much perfect. Batman is very intentional with every move that he makes here. He's fast, efficient, and brutal. And honestly, I hope that this is how the DCU Batman is moving. Minus the killing, of course. Alright guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below your favorite fight scene. Movies, TV shows, even animated stuff. I don't care. I just want to hear your thoughts. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.